So let's get going with this pack opening, shall we? Now, unfortunately, even though we so far anything, I still don't have all the basic cards. So for this, I decided to buy from the shop. If we just go into the shop and show you, 15 basic packs and then 40 goblins versus gnome packs, just so I get a nice thing, like a nice balance, and then I can disenchant any duplicate cards that I get to craft more. I also played one arena run since I brought these, so I've got another goblin versus gnomes pack. So I think we'll start by doing 5 of the normal packs and just see what we get. Whee! I do love the sparkly effects in this. Right, let's have a look what we get. Oh, this is also the new January card back. This is just a basic pack. We got 1 rare, 4 commons. Okay. Commanding show. Yeah, none of those are really useful. Oh well. But I mean, it's one of those things. I'm not expecting to get a lot in 15 packs, but I just want to say, at the end of the day, if I end up disenchanting all of these packs and crafting goblins versus gnome cards with them, I can. Oh, I got an epic shield. So don't really play warrior. Warrior's not really my class. Okay. I do like this card back. This is the first month in a few that I've actually played enough to get to rank 20. I ended up rank 16 last season. The new season started today. Golden common. That see, even if I don't use that, which I might, even if I don't use it, that's still worth a lot because DE in gold cards is worth at least 100 dust. And we have Farsight. Well, that's a DE because nobody uses Farsight because it's awful. We'll open all of the basic packs first. I think another epic. Still no hungry crap. Again, the epics aren't marvelous, and they're not the epics I want. I mean, the epics I want Molten and Mountain Giants because they're the epics I don't have, and I want to build some sort of handlock deck because handlock is still quite good. With the deck I want, of course, is Mech Mage, which means I do need the Mage class legendary from these packs, which is another reason that I've got them. Though this doesn't look like it's going very well, nothing good so far. Admittedly, we have had no wisps, which is quite nice. Come on, sparkly! Right, okay. Anyway. Anything? A golden rare. Admittedly, I do use Injured Blade Master in my priest decks, so that could be replaced. Or, as I've already got 2, I could just here and get all the dust from it. Because golden rare, they're probably worth about 4. I can't actually remember. I don't really get made. There you go. So we've got a Mountain Giant now, which is quite nice. So that's one of the cards I need for this handlock deck. I mean, I've got a list of decks and I've got an order that I want to build them in. So we'll just see what cards I've got and if we can craft anything. It would be nice to get a legendary in one of these. Maybe? Do I get lucky? No. Admittedly, Wrath is quite good. I do actually want to build my own custom druid deck. I mean, I want a Mech Mage, but that's sort of cheating because Mech Mage is sort of just a net deck. So I do want to also have a go at building my own custom decks, and one of the decks I really want to have a go at is building a druid, because even though it will be similar to net decks, I want to be able to put my own spin on it, my own sort of cards. I just don't reckon I'm going to have the cards to build the sort of druid deck I want, because it's going to have quite a lot of legendaries in it. I got a Wisp. It's that pack. Come on, legendary. Come on. You know you want to. Give me that legendary. No, just another basic pack. Oh well. It's not the end of the world. We now have 41 Goblin versus Gnome packs. So let's hope that the legendary one is. So far we've got 1 Wisp and nothing really good. We've got 1 Mountain Giant that we wanted. And other than that, the rest of those were crap. Now I don't have a lot of Goblin versus Gnome cards. If we just go into my collection, I'll show you here. I've opened the 3 packs that you get if I go to Goblins versus Gnomes. I have I have 4 of those. Okay, so I do actually need to do some digging, but we'll do that after. I have a snow. I have both my snow children, which is quite nice, which will be nice for the Mech Mage. I have a few priest cards as well, and I do have a lot of duplicates of these. So I have opened a few packs, but I've just done these from Marina. These are like the first sets of packs that I've brought. I wonder how much dust I actually have. See, I have a legendary, but it's not really the one I want. I might have to dig that and try and turn it into another legendary. But let's have a look. So I've only got 290 dusty extra cards at the minute. That's not a lot. So let's go and open these 41 Goblins versus Gnome pack and see if we get more lucky. Now, I love the opening effect on these new packs. Okay, see, this is a good card. I'm going to go for it. This is really good for your mech mage because it's a 5/4, so it's a good static creature anyway. And if you have a mech on the field, you also deal 4 damage randomly to the enemy minions. It's a bit like a mad bomber, but it will only deal to the enemy minions, so it hasn't got any of the really bad side effects. Again, these cards are sometimes played in mech mage as well, because basically you just want to get all the good mechs together. Let's see what we get in this one. There we go. See, trigger all death rattle on you. Again, they nerfed Undertaker because it was overpowered. So even that's not very good now. If you wanted to build a hunter deck, that card's awful. Just sorry, that card's awful. Snow Trigger's always good, but I have my 2 of those, so that's just going to get disenchanted. And Neutron's actually get played in Mech Mage surprisingly because it's a cheap mech. Along with things like Clockwork Gnome and stuff that are just 2/1s, give a spare part. They're not generally considered good. The problem is, you see, to build a good mech mage, you really need something good there, like Archmage Antonitus, I think it's called, so that you can turn the spare parts that you get from your mech mage, like the Cogmasters. Cogmaster is actually a really good card in a mech deck. But it's so you can turn your spare parts into fireballs, because the fireballs are what you're going to use to like destroy the opponent and stuff. Epic. Oh come on, that for 4 mana. Even if you get that's not very good at all. I mean, a 4/4 without itself, but who wants to put that as stuff? That's ridiculous. That card's also awful. Flame Cannon's good, but that's awful. I mean, if you're going to have a taunt, you don't really want it charging. That sort of defeats the point of it being taunt. The idea of taunt is it soaks damage, not that you can charge it into something and kill it. Taunt is generally quite expensive. Right, golden rare, that could be worth something if I want to get rid of it. Draw a card if this mini... Yeah, okay. We're getting rid of that because that's another card that is completely pointless in most decks. Tinkertown Technician, nice to know I've got one of those because they're useful in Mech Mage. And if I get another one, I'll have to show you what they do, but they're really quite good. Tinker's Sharps, I've got that. Got those and they're crap. Right, okay. Not so good. I'm sure we've got to get something good in 40 packs. We can't go 40 packs without getting a single legendary. And all the golden cards. See, I might just deal the golden cards and just... because I can then enchant the normal versions of them. Or no, because that costs the same. But you can just... because nobody needs golden versions of the card, and the chances are that if you're just getting golden commons and golden rare, you're going to get them again in other packs. No, just normal pack with 2 ways. Clockwork Gnome here, you see. It's like a Leper Gnome or Walking Infiltrator, but it's Death Rattle. It's like a Death Rattle one, and it's to add a spare part to your hand. And if I'm honest, it's actually quite good, because if you build a Mech Mage and you have Archmage Antonitus sitting there, you can turn each one of those singular cost spare parts into fireballs, and fireballs deal 6 damage, and you can play 2 fireballs on a turn. And like with a Frostbolt, you're dealing good 6, 12, 15 damage, which when you've got also like a 5/7 body on the field is really quite good. Okay, I'm getting a lot of these, a lot of Dark Bombs. I'm getting a lot of the same cards. However nice it is, none of them are actually worth a lot to disenchant, and that's the problem. None of them are really worth a lot. Okay, Coghammer, again, I don't... It's interesting. It gives a random friendly minion Divine Shield and Taunt, and it's a good weapon, but it's not quite there, because at the end of the day you require a minion to get the full potential out of it, because if not you're paying 3 mana for something that probably should be 2. I mean, it's a Fiery War Axe with swap stats, and 2 attack isn't always going to be useful. And this in Arena would probably be quite good, but in Constructed I wouldn't have said that anything with a random effect that could mean you attack the wrong minion is good, if you know what I mean. I'm also struggling. I want like piloted shredders and stuff like that for this druid deck, and I don't seem to be getting any of those either. I don't know what they are. See, here we go. Here's another card. I've got so many. I think I've got about 5 of these now. But this is another one. Burly Rockjaw Trog. You'd think it would be a good card to oppose and stop your opponent from playing spells, but what it really does is it just sort of sits there. Your opponent just kills it with a minion and then plays their spells anyway. And when you can get like a Yeti, which is, okay, it's only a 4/5, but that 1 extra attack can allow you to kill so many more things that you can't kill with this. And it just doesn't fit into most decks, because most decks don't try to be anti-spell. If you're going to build this, you need to build a full anti-spell deck. And how viable one of those is, at the lower ranks it's probably quite viable. At the higher ranks I don't reckon it would be. because I reckon they just have too many good minions. This is another weird card. Valen's Chosen, because it looks really quite good. It's like a Blessing of Kings, but instead of giving +4/+4, you give +2/+4 and give spell damage. But the problem is, then you think, well, your priest doesn't really have anything that benefits from spell damage. So however annoying it is to have like a 3/2 minion that you then give this to and become the monster. If you play against a priest, it kills it with Shadow Wood Death. Mage can let me think about this. Mage can polymorph it, and Shaman can hex it. And at that point, your 3 classes down on where it's useful anyway. So I'm not sure I like that card. Though I might end up putting a single copy of it in the priest deck I build. We'll have to say. I think there's just going to be a lot of D'ing here, and just hoping. You know what? I'm going to blame the card back. We're halfway. Well, we're not. We're 15 cards into this, and I'm going to change the card back from the new card back to. Yeah, we'll change it to. We'll change it. Yeah, should we change it to the Gnomes card back? Because at the end of the day, we are opening Goblins versus Gnomes. Maybe this will give us a bit more luck. Maybe? No, okay, that didn't help at all. See, I've already got. That's my 5th one of those now. I know that's my 5th Druid of the Fang. And it's not even considered a good card. Because 4/4 for 5 is awful. And a 7/7 just gets killed at that stage in the game, especially just by Big Game Hunter. So, and people are running that now because people are playing, like, big minions. They're playing Handlock and like, Foe Reapers and stuff on ladder. Yeah. Not sure I agree with that. I'll be disappointed if, like, in, like, all of these, like, packs, I'll get a couple going on, but I'll be disappointed if I don't get a single legendary at all. Because I've had legendaries before in single packs I've run from, and I know it's completely random. There you go, Piloted Treader. These cards are considered really good because they still have your 4 attack. And they also summon a 2-cost minion, and they're really sticky. It's the same reason that things like Harvest Golem are considered good, because they stick, like, it sticks on the board. It's good. So that's definitely something that will be going in my deck. See, that'll end up in Mech Mage as well if I get the cards to do Mech Mage. I've got an epic and a rare. Fellweaver. Fellweaver's awful. Okay, it's not awful. It's a turn 5/8/8. But if you're playing against anything that uses low cost minions, they're basically. I mean, like by turn 5, if you play this on turn 5, they can have burnt. They could have quite easily burnt on their turn 6 9 of your cards. Maybe even more if they were using the coin to do it. And it's just not very good because an 8/8 body is not worth just giving them the choice to batter you to pieces. Flame Cannon, good. Anti-Kill, but good. We've had all those cards before. Let's see what we get in this pack. Again, nothing special. We've got 2 of these awful things. Salty Dog is just a 7/4. Dies too easily. But in a pirate deck where you can get the right synergy with it, some people do like it. Probably pirate decks aren't very good. They used to be impossible. You can now make a pirate deck. It's just not very good. People play this. This can get really out of hand, but it's also just not very good because it's only got 2 health, and most classes can kill that pretty easily. It's just my priest that struggles with it. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not very good at the game. I got to rank 16, and to be honest with you, I probably played enough that I should have been. I wanted to be at rank 15. But I just made too many mistakes, that's my problem. Come on, legendaries. Nope, nothing, just more bloody Druid of the Fang. I think Druid of the Fang is the card that you get most. I think I was watching, like, a Maz and stuff do pack open. There you go, 2 of them in the same pack. I was watching a Maz and that do pack openings, and they seem to be getting a lot of Druid of the Fang. I think Druid of the Fang is by far the easiest to get card in Goblins vs Gnomes. I mean, I haven't obviously spoken. Yay! At last I got a legend. Oh, okay. This isn't a bad legendary at all because it's very good anti-spell. Like, it keeps summoning those burly Rockjaw Trogs. So if they're playing a spell and they have to keep playing spells to get rid of this, then you've got burly Rockjaw Trogs that keep getting buffs, and it's not a bad card at all. You know, it was considered quite a good card, but for 7 mana now, Dr. Boom is considered way better, especially now it's being played in decks. And overall, I just don't feel like it's the legendary I wanted. At least I got a legendary though. Actually, I had a Harrison Jones legendary that sorry about that. That would have made a bit of a pop on the mic. I do apologise. I caught the wire on the mic. I haven't quite sorted out the wire management for my new mod mic yet. Antlion mod mic, really good if you like having your good headphones. to put on. And as far as I know, I don't know what you think as viewers, but as far as I know, it doesn't sound too bad. Epic Tree of... Again, not great. So many Shrink Masters. It's just like... Don't get me wrong, that legendary is good. But it's not the legendary I want for any of the decks I want to build. And unfortunately, I'm not rich enough to be able to just go out there and build all the... Just like pay enough money to be able to get enough dust and stuff to get everything. I mean, it costs you over £200, I reckon. I don't have that to spend on this game. However much I wish I did, because my god, do I love this game. I don't. So I'm just going to have to sort of like improvise a deck. Again, we're starting to see a lot of duplicates of cards now, so there's not a lot that needs explaining through them. Again, another mech bear cat. Another basic set. Two Glazukas. Jeezy's a weird card. Shielded Minibot. Shielded Minibot's actually really good if you want to build a Paladin deck. But again, to build a good Paladin deck, you need Tyrion forward. The problem is, to build any like good high level decks, you need good minions and good legendaries. More importantly, legendaries aren't the be all end all. You can build a deck that will get you to legend, probably just by getting a single legendary, as long as you get a good one in your packs. But the amount of extra effort it requires, and just the fact that you don't get to play with all the fun cards. Because, I mean, again, 3/3 +1 spell damage. Choose one, a +1 attack or +1 health. None of the really fun cards, all the really fun cards are legendaries. None of the really fun cards really are commons. There you go, another legendary. Oh, okay, that wasn't the one I was hoping for. That legendary is generally considered quite bad unless you get him in your opening hand, because it has to be while this is in your hand. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm happy to have got 2 legendaries in 40 packs. That's not bad going at all. But that's certainly not the legendary I wanted, because at the end of the day, it's just not that good. If you don't draw it in your... Like, if you do that at the end of the game, you're basically putting a 1/7 on the board, which is useless. And if you sit it in your hand for too long, I mean, what do you want it to be? A 6, so it can't be killed by Big Game Hunter? And at that point, then, you're playing a 6/7, but by the time you've had enough of your friendly minions die to do it, you're probably on turn 5 or 6 anyway, where 6/7 is just a Boulder Fist Ogre, so it's really not that good of a card. And if you build it up to be massive, it'll just get killed by one of the many spells that your opponent will inevitably have to deal with. That Hex, Shadowwood Death. Here we go, last pack then. Please be something good. No, just a basic pack. Oh, legendary! Oh, come on! I have got 3 legendaries, none of them are the ones... I've actually 3 legendaries in 40 packs is actually quite good. But, and then none of them were the legendaries I want. And whenever you cast a 1 mana spell, add a random mech to your hand. Definitely not the legendary I was hoping for. But oh well, not the end of the world. Shall we go and see what we got then for our collection with like all of that money? So we got 4 new Druid cards. Let's have a look at what we got. Okay, so we got 4 of those, 2 of those, 9 plus. How many of these have we got? It says 9 plus, but see, they're only worth 5 each. So really, what's the point? Okay, so we have... We managed to get a snipe. I didn't realise I didn't have a snipe. I mean, most of this is... the plan is probably to DE most of the stuff that's worth anything for classes that I'm not going to use, just so I can try and make sure I can build decent decks. Obviously, I don't really notice it with my Priest deck, for example. It's called Priest 2.0 because I like to keep updating them as I get more cards. Are these soulbound? Yeah, damn it. I like to keep updating them as I get more cards, so that I can make sure I'm always keeping the deck. I've got 7 of those, so I can always keep the decks as up to date as possible with the best cards I possibly have for them. So don't be surprised if I get Mech Mage 1.0 done in this video, and I'm not going to call it Custom Druid because they do just call themselves that. So I don't know, Druid 1.0, and they'll all be 1.0s. Other than Priest will probably be Priest 3.0 at this point, because all I'll do is I'll take the cards out of here that need replacing. I'll try and build a new priest deck called Priest 3.0 and build it around this deck with just the new cards that work in it. The problem is Priest isn't very good while Druid and Mech Mage are in the meta, but if I don't have the cards to build a Druid or a Mech Mage, I'm sort of under the opinion that if I don't have the cards to do it, I might as well just keep playing a class I enjoy, and I really, really enjoy playing Priest. I mean, I've got 260 dust down here. I wonder how much dust I'm going to have, but I mean, I know unfortunately what the first sort of card I'm going to have to craft are. I mean, they're going to have to party shredders and stuff because these are really good in like Mech Mage and the Druid deck, and they're some of the key parts of it. I mean, so the legendary are the key parts of it, but you can do them. See, I've got Kel'Thuzad, which is quite nice as well. But I mean, the legendaries are part of it, and they are key parts of it, but they're not that important that you can't build the deck around them without them, if you know what I mean. So let's move on to, so we've got exactly 1,000, so I won't even have enough dust to craft a legendary if I wanted to. Exactly 1,000 dust in extra cards, 144 duplicated commons and 14 duplicated rares for exactly 1,000 dust. Okay, so we'll D all our extra cards and get ourselves 1,260 dust. So now we're going to go, we're just going to find all golden cards. Okay, if that doesn't work, we have to go into crafting mode and select show any golden cards here. Now I know I have some golden cards. I'm not interested in crafting any golden. I have some golden cards. So we just need to go off here now and see how many Cobra shots I've actually see how many Cobra shots I've got that aren't the golden ones. Cobra shots. So I have 2 Cobra shots. So that Cobra shot can go 400. No, undo. Don't do that. Don't want to create a golden Cobra shot. We'll DE that for another 50 because that's not too bad. I mean, that's a golden common. I only have one of these. How much of these to craft? They're 100 to create, and the golden version's worth 100. Am I gonna? See, I don't reckon I'm gonna use this. We'll keep it for the minute and just see if we need it. Okay. I know I have 2 mana worms, surely. Yes. So that can go for 50. That's fine. I mean, I'm going to need all the dust, so I might as well make the most of it. Right, golden cards. Shielded Minibot. Do I have 2 shielded Minibots? I don't think I do, actually. So I don't know if the golden shielded Minibot is going to be... Oh, no, I do. Okay, so the golden shielded Minibot can go. There's no point in us showing any golden cards. We have to keep selecting and deselecting it, and we can just see the golden card in this. So I have 2 Shrink Masters, so the golden Shrink Master can go as well. And they're only worth 50 dust, but I think normal cards anyway are only worth 5. So 50 dust is actually quite a lot for a common card like that. I might as well get the most dust I can. At the end of that, I might be able to craft 1 legendary with this, but I don't reckon that's what I'm going to do. I reckon I'm going to end up crafting all of the other little separate cards that I need to build my decks without the legendaries, because I don't think the legendaries are that vitally important to them. Okay, golden Puddle Stomper can go. So just in case I do desperately need a legendary for one of my decks, I've got 2. See, I've got 2 of those, so that one can go. I am going to make sure I've got 1,600 dust for a legendary. Now, don't get me wrong, I like running golden decks, but for 100 dust when I already have 2 of them normal, it really doesn't bother me. I don't feel like playing with golden cards is really that good, and I'm personally not too bothered about it. I'd prefer to take the dust from them, from the golden cards for now. At the end of the day, and if it does cost me more to recraft them later when I want to start building golden decks when I eventually have all the cards, which is never going to happen. But you know, there we go. Okay, cool. So that's all the golden cards DE'd. So, if you just let me tab out the game for a second, I have a list of decks that I want to create. So I obviously want to create this handlock. Okay. No. So, see Zoo, Bacon All-Star. Okay. So we'll start by, and we'll just name the decks for now. So we'll have Priest 3.0 that we'll make. We'll make Priest 3.0. We will make Random Druid, because I don't know what else to call it. So this is just going to be the best Druid I can sort of build. obviously we are going to have to make, because this is, as far as I'm concerned, especially after watching the tournament yesterday, the Pinnacle, Mech Mage is just by far the best. So this will be Mech Mage 1.0, Random Druid 1.0, and then we have got Priest 3.0 and the Handlock deck. I think that was all the decks I wanted to try and build. Yeah, so for now that will do. We'll start with the Priest, as I have the most cards for the Priest. Let me just pop back a sec. Okay, so there was a little graphical bug. So we'll start with Priest 3.0, I think, because that's the one I have the most cards for already. So 2 circles, obviously, and 2 Blade Masters, because that's just still a great combo. Now, what do we want? Yeah, 2 Smites are vital, I think, in this, because I haven't got the legendary for this deck, have I? Okay, so maybe 2 Smites aren't that important because I don't actually have the legendary. I'll show you the legendary actually. Let me just go into craft mode. I'll show you the legendary. This one here, Vol'jin. Swap the health with another minion. So it's normally 2. So you can play this, swap it with like a 7 health minion, and then you'll be able to kill it with something like a Holy Smite, for example. But as I don't have that legendary yet, and I'm not too tempted to craft any of them. Northshire Clerics are obviously good. So this is where I think we play 2 Shrink Masters, and then with those Shrink Masters, then you probably want to play Cabals. How much are these to craft? These are like 400 dust each. But the Cabal is such a good card. I think if we spread the dust out across the deck, I think we will create 2 of those to go in this deck, because they just are so good. We will put 2 Cabal Shadow Priests in the deck. That's no use to me because I'm not really running mechs. So we'll put 2 Forts, so I think I quite like that card, and 2 Dark Cultists. Now I think we run a single copy of Pain, a single Death, and then a big Game Hunter when I learn how not to put a T on the end. I think we run a single copy of Big Game Hunter in this. That's 17 of the cards. 2 Arcanines then. Single copy of Velen's Chosen, just to buff up something like this, or buff up my Shrink Masters. A single copy of Mind Control. Double Holy Fire, because that is actually quite a good card. And then from here, you probably, and that's kind of what I've got in Priest 2.0 from this point here. There was obviously Smites, Palewood Shield, which I haven't got in it yet, Holy Novas of course, right. The most of the Priest deck is actually generally Priest cards. I mean, I don't know, let's put a single copy of Holy Nova in for now. We'll put both our Smites in, because Smite's a good card. Now, what else is in here? Because I don't think there's enough minions in this deck, really, if I'm honest. See, I'm going to want your Sludge Belchers and your Sarah in there. Because is Sarah the best legendary? No, but she's one of the best. She's one of the best legendaries. Well, she's the best legendary that I've got, and she's one of the best legendaries in a Priest, and that's the important thing for me. So that's all good. Obviously you want your double Sludge Belch, so then we need 1 more card. And then Lower Fed might be quite good actually in the current meta. Let's see, what am I missing that's in here? So if I was taking that, then I wouldn't be taking, I put a single copy of Hone over in. I wouldn't be taking a single Death, which is fine. I wouldn't be taking the Zombie Chow, which I'm not too bothered about, I don't think, and I wouldn't be taking the Palewood Shield. So it'd hit the early game a bit, but it might make the deck better. Yeah, okay. So we'll try with a we'll try with a single copy of Lurfo. See what that deck's like when we go and play on ladder. So we've got 960 dust left. That's okay. Should we? Because I know because of just because of how good Mech Mage is at the minute. Shall we see how far I can get building a Mech Mage? I've only got right. Okay, so the first thing when building a new Mech Mage is to realise that the most overpowered in the card in the game right now is Unstable Portal. If you're going to build a Mage class, you want to make sure that you've 2 Unstable Portals in there, because they are by far the best card. So 2 Unstable Portals, 2 Flame Cannons and 2 Frostbolts is always a good start. 2 Snow Sugars, because they are good cards. Then I'm thinking, let's have a look. I think we should play the double mirror entity version, because that's generally classed as quite good, in which case we want, I can't even remember what they're called now. Just find cards with Death Rattle. Mad Scientists, there we go. So we can pull those out of our deck, hopefully. Obviously want 2 Clockwork Gnomes, because we're playing a deck. How many copies of Polymorph? Okay, we'll take double Fireball, obviously. Single copy of Polymorph, probably. Goblin Blast Mage. So I want to take 2 of those, so we'll have 2 Goblin Blast Mages. So now let's just find mechs. Let's see what mech we've got. Double Cogmaster, obviously. Mech Warper, I'm going to want another one if I'm going to run this deck. So double Mech Warper. Double Annoyatron is generally used. I want another one of these, so we can run double Piloty Shredder, double Spider Tank, double Tinkertown. No, okay. So now we've got to start pulling from here. So we want to keep the Fireballs in. I personally want to keep the Polymorph in. So I think we pull. Let's see, we probably want to pull a Spider Tank then. If we want to pull a Spider Tank to put that in. At the end of the day, this is always supposed to be a low cost deck. We probably want to pull maybe a Mad Scientist to put Mechanical Yeti in. Then we've got like, what's that curve like on 4? 8 cards on 4. I don't think, I mean, it's missing, you see, the 2 big Mech Mage cards, which are, let me just go back into crafting mode. 2 big Mech Mage cards, which are Dr. Boom here, who is really good, and Archmage Antonitus, which allows you to turn them into fireballs. But we can try this for the nice, like, rounded Mech Mage and see how that goes. I don't think that would be a bad play at all. So that's an option. I'm actually just tempted to find a Mech Mage deck on the internet on my phone, just because I'm interested to see what normally gets run in Mech Mage and how my Mech Mage differs. So they run 2 Frostbolts, 2 Snow Sugars, 2 Fireballs and 2 Goblin Blast Mages, so we've got all of those. Okay. And then they run 2 Clockwork Gnomes, 2 Cogmasters, 2 Annoyatrons, 2 Mech Warpers. See, they run Harvest Golems. So, they don't run the Yeti, they don't run the Poly. They run double Spider Tank, double Harvest. The Harvest Golem's quite good. So they don't run. See, this version of it isn't the Mirror Entity version. I might actually run a single Mirror Entity and run a Harvest Golem instead. Run a single Harvest Golem because I want to run the Mirror Entity, the Mechanical Yeti. So I don't know whether this deck needs the Polymorph because it's a rush deck, which means it probably doesn't. Which means that it doesn't really need these either because they attack minions. If we take the stuff that attack minions out. Take the stuff that attacks minions out, because I think that's the best way of doing it. We'll put the second Spider Tank in, and at that point then I still want the single Mirror Entity. And see, now normally you stick a Dr. Boom in. You know, we don't need the, because we're keeping 1 copy of that in. unstable portal. See, this version doesn't run unstable portal either, which is odd. But I see I don't have the legendary to support not running unstable portal at the minute. I don't think. So I think we have to run unstable portal. No, we don't want that in there. Go away. You're awful. So we'll run double unstable portal just because we don't have the cards otherwise. Let's just stick a second mechanical yeti in then for now. So this is Mech Mage 1.0 and we'll try that Mech Mage out in a minute. For now, because this is don't get me wrong, handlock's good, but oh, right. So I want to build a ramp druid, but actually I need the big cards to build a ramp druid. So I would need to have two of those. So currently the druid is just not possible. So we'll see how close we can get to building a handlock. Obviously a more modern handlock than this specific handlock was. Okay, so we'll start with our giants. Let's hope. How much are the giants? How much are the giants to craft? The giants are 400 each, so I don't actually have enough to build a handlock deck either. Okay, so neither of these two decks. No, we don't need to get rid of that in a minute. So neither of these two decks are really viable on the amount of cards I've currently got. So we'll stick with Mech Mage and Priest because Priest has always been the class. So, is there anything for this Priest that I wanted that I didn't really put in it? I mean, that's sometimes used, but I have a copy of that. Sometimes used these days. And they see, I think the Priest was pretty complete in terms of what I could afford to craft to put in it. I'm not sure what else I wanted to craft for it. No. Okay. So let's just have a look then at a mech. So let's have another look at our Mech Mage and see what we're missing from it. See, I don't think there's a lot missing other than legendaries. That's the problem, and I can't afford to craft any legendaries at the minute. I mean, yeah, I don't think there's much missing other than Dr. Boom, who I can't afford to craft, and Archmage Antinitus, which I can't afford to craft. So at that point, then that's the best we're going to get really out of it. So yeah, I'm not sure I have much choice.